All right, let's talk about one of the biggest, and I mean literally biggest, keys to our clean energy future: giant batteries. We're going to figure out what a BESS is and why it's a total game changer for renewable energy.
You know, it all really boils down to this one huge question. We all want clean energy, right? But solar and wind have this one major challenge. What do you do when nature just isn't cooperating?
Well, the answer starts with understanding the grid itself, this massive, incredible network that we all plug into every single day. And the grid is, let's say, a little bit picky. It needs one thing above everything else: perfect, unwavering stability. A constant, balanced flow of electricity, 24/7. And that need for stability? Well, that's what creates a massive headache when we start plugging in renewables.
And this brings us right to what's called the renewable paradox. We've got all this amazing clean power, but the supply is, well, it's completely unpredictable.
I mean, think about it. Solar panels are awesome, but, only when the sun's actually out. And wind turbines, they're absolute powerhouses, but only when there's a good breeze. So what happens at night, or on a super calm day? You get these gaps, this fundamental mismatch between when we make the power and when we actually need to use it.
So the crucial takeaway is this: we need some kind of bridge, a technology that can soak up all that clean energy when it's plentiful and then hold on to it, saving it for when we really need it.
And that, right there, is where the hero of our story comes in. The solution isn't just about making more power, it's about storing it. So let's meet the grid's giant battery. Okay, so the official, kind of technical name for this is a BESS, which just stands for Battery Energy Storage System. What that really means is it's a massive system built specifically to do one thing: suck in huge amounts of electricity, store it, and then push it back out to the grid at the perfect moment. Honestly, the absolute easiest way to picture this, it's basically a giant power bank. Just like the one you might carry for your phone, except this one is the size of a building and can power an entire town. But hold on. These are not just a bunch of AA batteries stacked together. Oh no, these things are incredibly sophisticated. So let's kind of peel back the layers and take a look at what makes them so smart and so safe. Okay, so inside every BSS, you have these layers of protection, almost like a little crew working 24/7. First up, you've got the brains. That's the battery management system, and it is constantly monitoring every little thing to keep it running perfectly. Then you've got the bodyguard, which is the thermal system that keeps all the batteries at their ideal temperature. And finally, you have the firefighter, a super advanced fire suppression system, just in case. But the real genius, the secret sauce, is the energy management system, or EMS. This is the software that does way more than just play it safe. It uses smart algorithms, even machine learning, to figure out the absolute best time to charge up or to sell power back to the grid. It's looking at everything from the weather to real-time electricity prices, and it's always getting smarter.
And all of that intelligence, all that brain power, it doesn't just make the grid more stable, it makes these batteries incredibly valuable. This is where the environmental case meets a seriously powerful business case.
Just take a look at this number. A single, pretty standard-sized 50-megawatt system can pull in around $2.5 million a year. So you're probably asking, how on earth does a giant box of batteries make that kind of cash?
Well, it's a master multitasker. It has a few different hustles going on at the same time. The most obvious one is called energy arbitrage. It's the classic buy low, sell high. It sucks up cheap electricity in the middle of the night and sells it back when prices spike in the afternoon. It also gets paid for frequency control, acting like the grid's pacemaker to keep that electric current perfectly stable. It can even get paid just to be on standby, guaranteeing power for, say, a summer heat wave. On top of all that, it provides other critical support, like voltage regulation, that just keep the whole grid running smoothly.
So, all of this sounds great in theory, right? But the best part is, this isn't some far-off future technology. It is here, it is working right now, and frankly, it is crushing it. Let's look at the actual numbers. So what you're seeing here is a head-to-head comparison. That higher bar for efficiency, that means less wasted energy, which translates directly into more revenue. And see how much faster that response time is? That speed lets it cash in on those super valuable grid services we just talked about. And a longer cycle life, well, that just means it's a workhorse asset that's going to keep earning money for years and years to come.
So, let's just zoom out for a second. By solving that one huge core problem of renewables, the intermittency problem, these battery systems become the absolute key. They are the critical piece of the puzzle that makes a truly sustainable energy future even possible.
You know, this quote from the source material just hits the nail on the head. BESS is that critical component. It's the bridge connecting the clean energy we can make with the reliable power we all demand. It's the thing that makes the whole renewable equation finally add up.
So, the big takeaway here is pretty clear. These giant batteries are what finally unlocks the full potential of renewables. They make clean energy not just clean, but dependable, the kind of thing you can actually count on. And that leaves us with a really exciting final thought. The question is no longer if this technology will change our world. The only question now is, how fast?